Moving on to the transmitter. Okay, your transmitter may be different than what I'm using, but at the end of the day, the thought process is the same. One major thing to keep in mind, I'm just going to unlock this, is for the bucket. Let's just make sure I'm on the right model. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, let's go to model 4. And, okay, so the function side of things, we're going to go straight to endpoints. Oops. Endpoints. Okay. The bucket, you will put it at 10% and 10% for the full throw. Okay. We don't need speed here. It needs to be as slow as possible because the servo works way too fast. Second of all, the sub trim. Channel 1 at 40%. The reason I say 40% is this servo will start to creep on its own. If you don't put it at 40%, it'll keep going and going and going until it breaks and shears right off because it just doesn't know where to stop because we've changed the servo. So the servo is now a 360 moving servo. We need to tell it this is where we want it to stay. So 40%, anywhere between 35 and 40. Your application may differ, but I'd put more towards 40%. Again, this is going to be different for the different transmitters that you use, but for the fly sky type, which most people will use, this needs to be set first. Now, let me just move this back again. Okay, so moving on to the next step. At a certain point, you're going to have to figure out, are the channels going to be forward or reverse? For the motors, depending on how you solder them, if you solder, the motors where the red dot is with the positive on both, then that's fine. If you do it the opposite way, that's fine too. The only thing is you may have to check to reverse some of those. And the reason I say that is because when you set up the mixes to get the tracks working properly, you're going to have to make some adjustments. So you would come in here and reverse those channels, which is channels 3 and 4. And everything is channels 3 and 4 are here. Channels 1 and 2 are here. Now let's move on to the mixes. So you're going to have two mixes. Mix 1 is going to be channel 3 and 4, negative 100%, negative 100% for positive and negative here, okay? Remember this, copy this. Next, we'll go to the second one. It's going to be reversed now. Channel 4, channel 3, positive 100%, positive 100% for the negative and positive, okay? Remember that. There's no no third option because we don't need it. We don't have any other mixes. So that's for the tracks. So that way you go forward and backwards. You may have to adjust that and switch the channels in case they're not doing it the way you want it to, but that's where that's at. Auxiliary channels, channel 6 is, I have it on SWB, which is this one here. In the middle, the engine is off. Okay, so when you go to start, if you have a sound kit, this is only for a sound kit. To turn it on, you flick it up and then back to idle. It'll stay idling for 20 seconds, then it'll turn off. But if you leave it up, it'll rev the engine up in operating mode. So that's, again, if you have a sound kit. Other than that, if you're going to do any kind of adjustments, we don't have, sorry, here we go. I don't have any settings here. You can change this again if you want it to be, faster reacting, slower reacting. You can make some adjustments on your rates. Again, this is for channels 1 and 2. There's nothing channel 4. We wouldn't touch it. As far as the tracks, again, endpoints, you can make some adjustments if one track is going faster than the other. So you can adjust these guys a little bit higher or lower to get the tracks to adjust to going perfectly straight forwards and backwards. And that's it for setting up the transmitter. Again, if you feel that it's not if it's not going straight when you push the stick, you may have to reverse one of the channels, channel 3 or 4, and then play with that, see if it works. Eventually you'll figure it out. But the way I have it is set up for the way I soldered. So there we go.